Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm student meteorologist Sammy Squires.
And I'm student meteorologist Brantley Kike.
Well, we did have a little bit of rain on the radar today, and it looks like that trend is going to continue throughout the rest of the week.
Yeah, it was cloudy all day long, and luckily we didn't see too much rain, just a few scattered pop-up showers. But we could see more of that in the next few days. We do have a very active pattern for the south, especially the middle part of the south. We have a lot of flood alerts to talk about, too, coming up.
Yeah, and even some lightning up north to us. So lots to talk about. It's a little exciting, but also could be dangerous situations.
Yeah, temperature is very, very warm for this time of the year as well. I mean, today we were in the 70s, and it was just a very warm day. And it luckily wasn't too humid though. It felt kind of nice outside, even with that cloud cover. It wasn't too humid. It wasn't too muggy or anything, but it felt kind of nice, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And we might even creep into the 80s later on in the week. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we do have some rain chances before that, though, and then we do have thunderstorms as we get into the start of next week as well. But again, we have a big flood threat to talk about for the middle part of the country. Places like Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee are going to see tons of rain over the next several days here, several inches, and they've already received a lot of rain just in the last few days as well. So they have a lot of flood watches, warnings, and that's going to be something to watch for the next several days. But luckily, we're not going to see, you know, big impacts from that system.
Yeah, it actually still is winter though too, so there is still some snow on the radar. Of course not here, but in the mountains especially, they're still getting lots of snow right now.
Oh yeah, we're going to take it all the way across the country later on in the show, but for now we're going to go back out to the wall with Dylan.
Thank you very much, guys. Well, outside it is cloudy and a little windy, but it's a little spritzy, as I would say. I got like 1 or 2 drops of rain, and I was looking up at the sky like, what's going on? Well, it's little spotty showers on radar as we look at that. You do see some spotty ones over Tallahassee, but a lot of them have faded, and the cloud cover is dying down just a bit, but there are still clouds outside right now, as you saw on the weather stem camera. Though not much rain in our area for much of our viewing area, still some showers down over towards Lake City, Gainesville, and Cross City as well. As we zoom out, the big picture that we're all going to be talking about today is this low pressure system is funneling up moisture into the upper levels, causing a lot of this rain band to come over into the northern part of the southeast. That's sticking around. This high pressure is going to move out. Another low pressure is going to form, and this is going to move all the way into the northeast, not impacting our area drastically, but bringing slight rain chances at the lower levels because we have a bit of moisture coming off the Gulf. As we look at what you're going to experience tonight, well, rain chances are sticking around just a bit, only 20%, just a very low chance, but getting down into the 50s as our low. Still a little windy at 10 miles per hour, so not too bad of a night. And then the warming trend we've been talking about, we have rainy conditions throughout the next 3 days, and then you have the 80s back again, as Sammy mentioned. And then coming up on the show, we'll talk about those warm conditions you are expecting. Those small rain chances, though, sticking around throughout the rest of the week, and then maybe some relief this weekend. Well, Sammy will let you know with her local right now. Sammy?
All right, thank you so much, Dylan. So looking at current temperatures, you can see we are at a nice 70 degrees outside. It is kind of cloudy outside. Like Dylan was mentioning, we just had a few specks of rain here and there. But as far as the temperature, we are still in the 70s, 68 over in Perry. Valdosta is a nice 58 degrees, so they are starting to cool off for the remainder of the night. We have the wind coming from the east right now, actually pretty strong in some areas, with Monticello 18 miles per hour, Tallahassee 17 miles per hour. So you are feeling just a little bit of a gust right now with that easterly flow. Now, our dew point is primarily in the low 60s and even low 50s near Georgia, Thomasville, Bainbridge, 54. Now, what that means is we have this little fun graphic here. A little bit muggy here in Tallahassee, while Thomasville with those 50s, they are actually nice and kind of dry. So it's kind of in the middle between that range. Now, the big story, like Dylan was mentioning, is this band of rain here. You could even see some lightning associated with that. We are just kind of getting some of that remnants from that front. So you could see just a little bit of specks of rain here on our forecast for right now. Tonight, reaching about 61 degrees, while Quincy might even get down into the 50s for overnight. The next 24 hours, pretty much the same trend is going to continue. Just a little bit of rain coming through our area, even a drop of rain here in Tallahassee by early morning, and those conditions are going to stay through the rest of the day. So mainly cloudy though for tomorrow. The day planner showing warming from 62 all the way to about 74 by 4 p.m. Showers, just a chance of showers, really just those pop-up showers. Looking at the week ahead though, so not too much of a threat of rain by Saturday, maybe even reaching in the 80s with sunny conditions before the next chance of rain starts up on Sunday. But for now, Michael is going to give us a look at the southeast.
Yeah, thanks, Sammy. And the southeast right now is the most active part of the country. You can notice how different the temperatures are in the southeast. 34 in Little Rock with thunderstorms. That tells you how strong the storm system is. 40 in Atlanta, kind of a rawish kind of day out there. We did have some actually pea-sized hail in the Atlanta suburbs earlier today. And then as we go down south towards Florida, they're south of what right now is a stalled out frontal boundary that's going to come back up as a warm front. So the warmer air is south of that boundary in Florida with 80 in Orlando, 82 in Tampa, and 78 in Miami. You can also tell where this boundary is right now from the dew points. More humid air south of that boundary with relatively lower dew points north of that boundary. But again, the dew points are very close to the air temperature up towards the northern portion of the southeast. That's why it's very saturated, and that's why we're getting a lot of this heavy rainfall in the northern portions of the southeast. Another indication of where this front is, you can tell it by the winds. North of that frontal boundary, you have this easterly, cooler wind flow, and then south of that boundary, you have those southerly winds bringing up that humid air, and that humid air is going to come up into Tallahassee and the southern portions of Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia as we go into tomorrow. Again, satellite and radar, the main story for us here in the southeast is this frontal boundary, and you notice how basically you just have these showers on the southern portion because there's not much moisture in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. But again, as we go up towards the northern part, that's where the full layer of the atmosphere is saturated. So very heavy rain across the upper Mississippi and Tennessee River Valley. And then it's cold enough with that high pressure up to the north to give it that colder air for some snow and some very heavy snow, in fact. But again, in the Mississippi and Tennessee River Valley, we are experiencing some very heavy rain and some very heavy pockets of rain in northern Alabama with some lightning, and it's very cold up towards these regions. So very interesting how you're getting some thunderstorms in some 40-degree weather. No surprise with the amount of rain we're expecting out towards the southeast for the next few days, rounds of repeated rain. This flash flood watch is in place for a lot of the Tennessee River Valley and the southern Appalachians, and in places down towards Starksville, flooding is already becoming an issue, so that's why we have a flash flood warning in place for them. Down towards Florida, the air is starting to become more moist and more warmer as this frontal boundary starts to move north. And again, the atmosphere is a little bit drier down here, so that's why we're not getting much rain showers. It's going to be mainly a mostly cloudyish kind of day for the rest of the work week, basically. Now, once that warm front moves up north, you'll get some more instability. And in that little warm sector between the cold front and the warm front, we're expecting some severe weather for the I-59 and I-20 corridor, basically from Birmingham, Jackson, Mississippi, and then down towards New Orleans. So a slight chance of a severe thunderstorm here or there. That's a marginal risk. So one or two of these storms might become severe. Notice how the warm front starts to lift north, and this cold front moves through the Mississippi River Valley and then eventually into Mississippi, Alabama, and into Georgia as we go into tomorrow. And what you see right now is not really going to change until Saturday and Sunday as this frontal system really starts to stall out. So finally for tonight, notice how it's much warmer ahead of that cold front with the very cold conditions remaining in Atlanta with that wedge. Now we're going to go back off to the desk with Sammy and talk about the snow moon, which is a very interesting phenomenon in February here on Earth.
Yeah, Michael, so it doesn't look like we are going to necessarily see it tonight, but places in the north where they have that dominant high right now, they might be able to see it. Now, this snow moon is just a full moon, but because it's February, that's why it's the snow moon.
Yeah, usually we have a full moon every month. That's with the cycle pattern of just the moon rotating along with the Earth. And so we get that full moon when basically you see the brightest part of the moon.
Yeah, and actually February is the record snow month for many United States cities, so that's kind of why they call it the snow moon.
Yep, that's a very interesting feature, and it was because of the Native American, but because it's snowing, they call it, oh, it's a snow moon up there.
Yeah, and it also is not only just a full snow moon, it's a super moon.
Yep.
Now, that's when the full moon takes place when the moon is near its closest part to the Earth.
Yeah, so of course when an object comes closer to you, it looks bigger to you, so that's basically how a supermoon is. The moon is just closer to the Earth, and so therefore it looks bigger in terms of your eyes, but that just means it's closer to us.
Yeah, bigger and brighter, in fact. 16% brighter, actually. So, than an average full moon, that is.
Yeah, so a very interesting phenomenon, especially after last month where we had the lunar eclipse. Another interesting phenomenon that unfortunately we won't get to see given the clouds,
Yeah.
but still very interesting.
Yeah, so lots of cool things to look up in the sky for tonight. But for now, Dylan is going to give us a look at the National.
Thank you very much, guys. Well, we see all this cold air that's engulfing much of the United States. You see Billings at 20 degrees, Bismarck at 4 degrees and sunny, and you have that cold air kind of dipping down into the eastern part of the country. Though the other area that we're going to watch later on is in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Salt Lake City. They're seeing a lot of wintry precip right now and some colder temperatures that are bringing some warnings into their area. So keep that in mind as we go on. Dew points, though, as we saw that low pressure system and that warm front kind of move up north, we've seen a resurgence of moisture, seeing dew points in the 60s here in New Orleans and Tallahassee. But then farther up north, you have some dew points that are higher than the surrounding areas, with Memphis at 38 and Atlanta at 36. These are not very moist, but they're still moister than the surroundings, indicating that this low pressure system is moving up into this area and bringing just a bit of moisture with that. And looking at the satellite radar, you see where this moisture is really at the upper levels. We'll look in that in just a second. But you see the front moving up northwards, bringing in some warmer air behind that front. And this is clashing with this high pressure system. And we have some lifting up here, which is the rising of that moisture, causing some storms. And as we look at that upper level moisture, you see a lot of upper level moisture there. It's drier at the upper level over Tallahassee and the southeast. But then farther where you have that lifting, you're seeing a lot more thunderstorms again with that moisture. And you see these bright colors right there. Those are indicating stronger storms. The cooler they are, the brighter they seem. So you're seeing some strong storms associated with that over near Atlanta, but in Alabama, and then farther west of that too in Louisiana. Zooming in just a bit, we do see some strong storms, some lightning entrained in them. Some small hail is possible, but we're seeing gusty wind conditions with it, but not the threat of a tornado. Really not that bad condition. SPC only put a thunderstorm warning around this area, so not a strong threat for severe weather with this. But you do see the rain-snow mixing as we get that lifting farther north. And you start to see that low-pressure system trying to form its way out over here, over in Oklahoma City. Zooming out though, this is with all that rain bands, you're seeing some flash flood watches and warnings, just a warning down there in Mississippi, but a large area flash flood watch with all this precipitation that's going to continue tonight into tomorrow as well. Zooming out westward, our next system, you can kind of see it start to come on radar over by Seattle, bringing some rain with it and some cloudy conditions, and let's bring some snow conditions as well into parts of Idaho, Washington, and Washington. Then zooming out in the country, we start to see where we have a lot of these winter storm watches and warnings. We're continuing with that. We've been under a lot of winter storm weather. So much of the central part of the country is under a winter storm watch and warning. Then we have a winter storm watch over down into the western part, over into Nevada. And then zooming in on that just a bit, we start to see where we have those freeze watches and warnings and a wind chill advisory behind that in those areas of conditions. And the storm outlook for tomorrow, we don't see a strong indication of strong storms, only seeing a marginal over into parts of Mississippi and Alabama. Going to see maybe 1 or 2 strong showers, but nothing too severe as we saw today as well. And as we go into the next 24 hours, this front and the low pressure system start to lift its way northward, bringing some rain into the northeast and some snowy mixed precipitation as well. And as we look at what tomorrow is going to lead, well, this cold air is going to start moving in, making its presence felt. And look at this cold air damming over into Washington, D.C. and Atlanta. That's when cold air gets trapped behind the mountains. So it's very interesting to see this border over here. But right now, we're going to give it over to Michael, who's going to talk about how this cold front and this system is affecting our area.
Yeah, and thanks, Dylan. And if we take a look at what's happening right here outside Doak Campbell Stadium, you see mostly cloudy conditions across a lot of our region today. That's because we had this persistent easterly wind across our region. Usually that results in a cloudier, cooler kind of day across the region. But 70 degrees is our current temperature right now, and that's actually above average where we should be for this time of year. We should be in the upper 60s. And again, with that east wind of 15 miles per hour, that's what's kept the persistent cloud cover over our region. That easterly wind also has resulted in cooler temperatures on the northeast side of our viewing region. Thomasville and Valdosta only in the 50s. And that's another reason why Atlanta's so cold, because of that cold air just getting stuck from the Appalachian Mountains. Once you go south and west of our viewing region, that's where it gets a little bit warmer. 70 degrees in Tallahassee compared to 59 in Thomasville. So a 10-degree difference in just a 20, 30-mile distance. Again, with the dew points, we still have a little bit of drier air up towards the northern part of our viewing region with 50s in terms of dew points up towards Bainbridge and Thomasville. But as you go down towards the coast, you can already start to see the moisture increasing, and these dew points are going to really rise as we go into the overnight hours as a stationary front starts to move up north as a warm front. So again, these dew points are going to be coming a little bit uncomfortable, more into the middle 60s. Again, with the winds, that's why it was a cooler, cloudy-ish day out there for some of us because of this easterly wind coming off the cooler waters of the Atlantic. So pretty cool, but again, those winds will become southerly as that warm front starts to move north of our region. So right now on satellite and radar, you see mostly cloudy conditions with some scattered showers. This will be the norm as we go into the overnight hours and tomorrow, again, as that warm front does move up north. So a scattered shower is possible. It's all due to this low pressure system, which will give us warmer air. Temperatures are going to get well above average as we go later part of the work week. So again, with all the cloud cover we're expecting across the region, not a good stargazing night for the full supermoon, the snow moon as we call it. So again, viewing conditions are pretty poor. But I honestly think it's a good day to walk your dog. Cloudy conditions at 60 degrees, 7 a.m. and then warming up to around 70 degrees with a very slight chance of a shower. And as we go into the week ahead, the warm front moves up north on Wednesday, so that's the reason why we have some slight rain chances, but our temperatures warm well above average, 10 to 15 degrees above where we should be for this time of year. And that front you noticed out towards Arkansas and into the Mississippi River Valley finally moves through our region as we go into Sunday night into Monday, knocking our temperatures down a little bit of where we should be for this time of year. But now let's send it off to the desk with Brantley and Dylan.
Thank you very much, Michael. And you talked about what we should be seeing in terms of average this time of year. We're going to tell you about what we've seen so far in the month of February.
Yeah, it's been very warm so far this month, especially today. We saw temperatures again in the 70s, and our average for this time of the year is just generally in the 60s. So we have been very warm for most of February. In fact, our normal high temperature for February is 67 degrees, and so far our average high has been around 72. And for our lows, our average is 42. And our average so far is about 50.
Yeah, not only that, we've actually been seeing a lot less rainfall than we do at this time of year. Well, here's a graphic with those high temperatures and the monthly average being 67, as you said. And we only have 4 of those days this month that have been below average.
Yeah, so clearly we have several days above average there, a very long stretch, especially in the second and third weeks of the month there. And those above average temperatures are obviously going to continue. If you just took a look there at Michael's 7-day forecast, we have very warm temperatures, especially getting into the 80s later on this week. So those above average temperatures are going to continue, but we could see some relief later on at the end of the month.
Yeah, I mean, we've only hit 2 days above 80 this month so far, but we have more in the forecast, so we're going to increase that number later in the week. And then going back to the rainfall, we've only seen 4.8 inches of rain at this month, and that's very low compared to the 4.85 we usually see in the entire month of February.
Wow, yeah. So we are seeing a lot less rainfall. We're not necessarily in drought yet, but we are going to keep watching that very closely, and especially for the overall for the whole year as well. And we are down from our normal 7.5 inches of rain. We've only received about 4 so far this entire year. So we are below average.
Right, yeah, and we saw some about the same value last year, and we did have a little bit of a drought later on in the season, but that will come out on Thursday, and we'll have that on the show. But right now, we're going to send it over to the wall with Sammy.
So you guys are talking about these temperatures, and I mean, you could really see the temperature gradient from 65 all the way down to 83 in Fort Myers. Now, that is a big temperature difference. Fort Myers actually being that sunny spot here on the map, while Tallahassee or actually Orlando and up is pretty much cloudy for our area. Now, taking a look at the winds, we do have this easterly flow, pretty much feeling a nice breeze here. Tallahassee, Orlando, pretty much all of northern half of Florida, while the southern half of Florida has a little bit of a lighter wind on their area. Now, these dew points, you could see it is in the high 50s, low 60s, and then it drops into the southern half, 60, 65, more of an uncomfortable range for that dew point. You can see we're actually feeling a little bit muggy throughout the north half of Florida, maybe a little bit humid in parts of the southern half of Florida. This big story here, though, is this low pressure system giving us a little bit of rain in our area, while the upper half, looking at Atlanta, they're getting lots of storms through this time. Now, the satellite and radar is showing just a little bit of rain in our area. Through the Big Bend, you can see it is pretty cloudy outside right now. Rain just coming and going with those little spots here, though. Jacksonville, they did have a little bit of rain come through their area. That has started to make its way out, though. But there is still chance of getting a little bit of rain through tonight. Looking at the Tampa region, you can see there is a few spots of rain on that area. While looking at tonight, we could see that Tallahassee is going to be 61, while dropping down to Fort Myers, they are going to be 69, and Miami does have a chance of rain for tonight. Looking at the chance of rain for the next 24 hours, you can see Wednesday around 10 a.m., you just have a low chance of rain. But by Wednesday afternoon, that's a little bit higher, so we'll see if we do get a pop-up shower for tomorrow afternoon. For tomorrow's forecast, 75 here in Tallahassee, while Gainesville is a nice 83 degrees. That sun and clouds are going to come and go throughout the day tomorrow, while Fort Myers is going to be 85 degrees. But now Brantley is going to take us over to the local.
All right, thanks, Sammy. We do have some pretty warm temperatures again outside under some heavy cloud cover. Here's a live look at our weather stem camera looking over Doak Campbell. The heavy cloud cover is going to continue into the overnight hours, and we could see a few pop-up showers late tonight. But again, back to those temperatures, we saw a high today near 75 degrees. Our average for this time of the year is 68, so 7 degrees above normal for this time of the year. Our low, several degrees above normal. A low today, this morning, of only 61, normal in the 40s. So cloudy conditions right now are going to keep that heat around into the overnight hours, and then again tomorrow we could see things heat back up with temperatures getting into the 70s again. A little bit cooler as you head down to the coast and near Apalachicola, 69 degrees. Bainbridge, Thomasville, and Valdosta already cooling off considerably there in the upper 50s for most of North Georgia and lower 60s. Our dew points showing lots of moisture coming into the region, especially along the coast. We see these darker green colors where the dew points are starting to rise. As we get farther north inland, we see those dew points a little bit less there, so a little bit drier air. The wind speed is coming, the wind direction is coming out of the east right now, so we are seeing pretty gusty winds out of the east. 17 miles per hour for Tallahassee, 18 for Monticello and Thomasville, and Quincy there at 13. So very gusty winds going to continue late tonight and into tomorrow. Nice clear skies as far as rain is concerned right now. Still some heavy cloud cover, but our next system is this low pressure that is going to be moving more over the Gulf of Mexico. We have the stationary front draped across the peninsula of Florida, but this warm front is going to drift towards our area and help bring us some more showers tonight and tomorrow. So tonight, a low chance for rain, around 20%, a low near 59 degrees. And tomorrow we do have that chance for rain again. So around 11 o'clock tonight, mostly cloudy skies. Tomorrow morning, same thing, but then in the afternoon, around lunchtime, we could see a few showers start to pop up around noon, and then again at around 4 o'clock, we could see a few passing showers as well. So timing things out tomorrow, 8 a.m., nice cloudy skies there, still pretty warm and mild. Noon, a few showers are possible, and again, possible at 4 o'clock. So a 30% chance of rain tomorrow, just some hit or miss showers. And then Thursday, around 20% chance of rain. Friday as well. We could see some more sun on Friday though, but check out these temperatures. Temperatures really heating up into the lower 80s for the next several days until our next cold front comes through at the start of the next week. So we're going to have temperatures dropping Monday and Tuesday into the 70s, but still well above normal for this time of the year. Our next big rain system is going to be on Tuesday with a 60% chance of thunderstorms and a high near 73. So a rain chance there as our next cold front does start to push through the Big Bend region. Now we're going to take things back over to the desk with Michael and Dylan.
Thank you very much, Brantley. And that 7-day, honestly, the next 4 days kind of looks like a summer or late spring 7-day.
Yeah, late spring, early summer kind of 7-day where it's very. What that 7-day doesn't really show is how muggy it's going to really get. Those dew points are going to be closer to 70 degrees. Where it feels very, very sticky and uncomfortable outside.
As Jordan Fraser once said, it's going to feel icky, sticky outside.
That's
honestly the best way to describe it. The dew points are surging up. We saw that we had dew points here at 60, but farther interior in the U.S., they're seeing only 30.
Yeah, and that's what really, because that stalled out, that boundary will move north as we go into tomorrow. And it's not going to get to our region again until Sunday night because it just stalls out, causing flooding rain in northern Alabama, northern Georgia, Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, Saturday on that 7-day, though looking like the best day where it's a little warm. You might want to go to the beach, honestly, because you're not going to get super cold temperatures, but you're going to have clearish skies.
Yeah, and also like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, those are going to be days where you might get some breaks in the clouds, where you might get some sunshine, and the rain chances are where the rain is very spotty and very drizzly, like spritzy.
Stealing my word is spritzy. The showers are only last like a minute or two, not too long.
Yeah.
So if it is raining and you're not in a rush, check the radar, look outside, then wait till it clears out, and then you might want to head to your car.
Yeah, and look at those mornings well into the low 60s, as lows are pretty warm for this time of year.
Returning a little more to average later in the week once that cold front does pass.
Yeah, and it's a very weak cold front. Basically, that cold front's only going to return us to closer to where we should be.
I mean, it's still above average for this time of year, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. But do not forget to follow us on Twitter for all of our weather updates, twitter.com/FSU weather.
You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU weather.
And we also live stream every night on YouTube, youtube.com/FSU weather/live.
Also, you can follow us on the gram at FSU weather. You know, I'm hip, I'm cool with the kids.
Yeah, and I like seeing all the neat pictures wherever you are out in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
Nice nature kind of pictures.
Yeah,
so very nice.
You can hit us in the DMs with some nature pictures as well, and we might be able to share them.
Yeah, but for all of us here at FSU Weather, I am student meteorologist Michael Onden.
And I'm student meteorologist Dylan Leith.
Have a great night.
Okay, fine.